Hey dumplings, it's Dave Decide. Today I want to get into V and a recent photo that came out and trending over him being shirtless, and also his crotch trending, and of course some of the hate that V has received recently and some backlash. So hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on, grab your dumpling and tea spilling mug merch, and let's get into it. So V is getting shamed for a couple of things, and one I want to start out with is what happened when V was recently on Weverse. So if you don't know, V goes on Weverse and interacts with ARMY the most on there. He posts the most on Instagram, but the members and him, their comments and stuff are turned off. So you can't really interact unless they do the Q&A stuff. So V will post photos and all that on Instagram and then answer questions on Weverse. This is definitely a better idea. I think nowadays on social media, people just like to send hate, especially more public platforms like Instagram and YouTube, where maybe the audience can very often be the people who don't know you, who never seen a video before and take things out of context or simply don't know you well enough, so they just send hate. Therefore, being on a platform like Weverse, where it mostly just be armies on the platform, and if you were a hater, you wouldn't even find your way to that platform because it was only something known by the fandom. So it's a platform that BTS is used to using and used to thinking that they won't get hate when they are on it, and are more willing to respond back. And ARMY wrote and asked Taehyung if he thought BTS was more funny or if he thought ARMY was more funny. I don't know why someone would give a BTS member this ultimatum, because whatever you say, you're insulting someone. If Taehyung says BTS, then ARMYs will be sad. And if he says ARMY, people are going to say he's not supportive of the other members. And this is why they're going solo or whatever. Ultimately, Taehyung decided to answer the question, and it was trending and believed that Taehyung said ARMYs are not funny, and then added a smiley face. The fandom erupted, and I mean, this was something that they took as a deep insult, because we've seen Taehyung laugh at the Marry Me Yoongi jokes or things like that. So the fandom immediately was like, well, if we're not funny, then why did you laugh? And that's a good point. I can't argue with that point. But after the BTS hiatus thing, it does make you question whether the translations are accurate. And it would probably take a person who understands Korean quite well to really interpret the meaning. And similar to an English text, meaning can often be lost in a text. And things like slang or idioms are often misinterpreted or not translated in Google Translate. For example, if there's a saying like gold is water, I'm making this up by the way, and that saying is supposed to mean money is worthless or whatever, if you translate that to another language, it doesn't mean anything, and people would be confused as to why you're making this comparison. So there were some people online that were saying that misinterpretation could be wrong, and Taehyung was actually saying that he would not ever laugh at ARMY, but laugh with ARMY. And why would he answer it in that way? Could also be because either he misinterpreted the question or we misinterpreted the original question. This was all in Korean, and the latter response makes more sense as to why he would add a smiley face. But if you know Korean well, let me know what this could possibly mean. Taehyung was being attacked online for this. As you can imagine, people would have been upset hearing him say that, but I don't think he meant it in a mean way, even if it was an accurate translation. I've said this before, but oftentimes K-pop memes are not funny on a global scale. Like, very few people can relate unless you're part of the fandom. But then other jokes, the members simply don't enjoy. For literal years, there was this something is behind you joke, which if you don't know, this would happen when BTS members would individually do a live stream after their concert or whatever. They'd be in a hotel, and it'd be at night, of course, and their streams are always very quiet. And if the members are by a window or whatever, the chat will all say that there's something in that window. BTS members specifically suffer from a lot of stalker fans, so this is something they are very nervous about, and so the members didn't like this. And I can only imagine if Taehyung really did mean that ARMY isn't funny, this could be a reason why he said that. But those are only a few rarer moments. Recently, it was exciting when I saw BTS memes being used in actually relatable scenarios, whereas a lot of K-pop memes are very specific to the genre, and that's not a negative thing, that's just an opinion. Taehyung has been posting and being very active online. Interestingly enough, when Taehyung posted a shirtless selfie and then just dipped, like he didn't just throw a bomb into the ocean, Taehyung literally just went about his life and everyone else died. Of course, this was brought up on Weverse when people were asking him to address things. Someone asked him why he did this, and he replied asking basically, don't you think my stomach is cute? And of course, it's cute. Everyone thinks it's cute. This of course caused even more people to freak out. People were basically saying that he is cute and he knows he's cute, which is even more cute. Just the ball of cute. This photo was taken in his bedroom mirror, it appears, so people were definitely feeling like it was a private photo that they were not supposed to be looking at, and that was very funny to me. Initially, there had been a lot of people who were excited and happy, but of course, there was also haters and stuff shaming him or whatever. However, I think it's interesting how the members have kind of changed since deciding that they will do more solo. Each of them are being more okay with being being naked and shirtless on camera and showing themselves off more. They also know this will get more attention and are probably glad to finally be able to do something different. There's a reason why when Taehyung initially, during his quarantine, wanted to grow out his mustache. I think it was J-Hope that advised against it and all that. It's not that they think he would look bad in a mustache or whatever, but when signed to a group, you have to put we in front of me. Meaning if there's a specific aesthetic that the group has or a specific image, you have to follow that image, and that image becomes more important than your own individual desire to have an image. So being shirtless might be off-brand for BTS as a group, but obviously not off-brand for Taehyung. And of course we also get Jungkook being shirtless lately and Jimin as well. This new era is what they call the BTS nude era, and we are living. People being shirtless is definitely not a big deal, but being shirtless should have never been a big deal or considered more of a scandal, because it's simply not. It just never was controversial. But suddenly when I became a part of K-pop, I noticed that everyone was so freaking out about people being shirtless, and it's like, this is fine, every male celebrity is shirtless at times. Look at Charlie Puth, he never has a shirt on his TikToks. But we have to admit that since K-pop stars rarely ever get shirtless, this of course makes it a bigger deal when they do, because it looks almost more naked, and then we feel closer to them in a weird way because we've seen them shirtless. There's already this kind of thing that goes on the internet because ARMYs want to feel closer to BTS. They'll even draw or make fanfic when the members are shirtless all the time. There's even these challenges and things that go around online. I don't really have an opinion on it. It's whatever. I don't think the members would be bothered by it at all, just because of how this thing I am about to talk about exists with every celebrity. I think they'll be insulted if they weren't included in this. So what am I talking about? There's Taehyung try not to look down challenges, or Taehyung crotch shots, trending and floating around online. These are moments where the members are wearing jeans or just walking on stage and their pants in the crotch region makes a weird thing, and typically your eye goes right to the crotch. So people would screen grab these moments or talk about these moments similar to the shirtless moments. People think that these moments are hilarious and fun. I can only imagine if the members ever came on social media and saw these posts, videos, or whatever, that they'd have such a good laugh about it. The members have spoken about how they do watch and read everything online. Even Jungkook has spoken about him really monitoring and looking over everything online, and this includes what ARMY does. Jungkook mentioned all of this during one of his recent live streams, and ARMYs were freaking out over the fact that this probably means he watches or has seen these crotch photos and videos. But as long as it doesn't go any further than that, you don't touch him when you meet him, you don't harass him or stalk him, then it's fine. There's literally so many fan drawings of the members naked. What is BTS to do about this? Drawing doesn't break the law, even if it's something that might be uncomfortable. And at this point in their career, they would just opt for not watching or not looking at them if it bothers them. But what do you think? How do you feel about people possibly shaming BTS for being more shirtless lately? Do you think they should enter this shirtless, naked, nude era? What do you think the music will sound like when they do this? More pop, more dance, and fun music? I sure hope so. And of course, I definitely want to hear what you think about Taehyung's set on Weverse. Do you think he was saying that ARMYs aren't funny, or do you think he was mentioning that he doesn't laugh at ARMYs? Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thank you for this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.